All right, y'all. We have a very important conversation to have. Everybody come on in. And I'm not going to say relax because this is not going to be a relaxing conversation. I'm just going to come out and say it. I personally think they're trying to get rid of Candace the same way that they got rid of Charlie Kirk. And I'm not making up stuff. I'm just looking at all of the evidence. I'm looking at what Candace just said on her live stream. Put a one in the chat if you watched Candace's live stream today, because if you did, she literally was talking about exactly what I'm talking about. And we're going to talk about the Andrew Wilson dude. But keep in mind, this is not about Andrew Wilson. I don't care about that loser. But I personally think that they are using the Andrew dude in order to bait Candace into having a live debate somewhere, whether it's on a campus or whether it's just anywhere outside, because, you know, Candace usually does her show in her basement where it's safe. And if you guys don't remember, put a one in the chat. You guys remember when Candace actually was threatened probably maybe 6 months ago? She talked about it herself. And one of the things that's important to think about is, where did those threats go? Do you think if a whole country threatens to unalive an American citizen, they're just going to change their mind and just go about their business? Or are they going to stop, change their way of doing things, let things die down, come up with a different way of doing things, and then catch the person slipping 6 months to a year later? See, if somebody wants you gone, I'm not going to say you're going to be gone, but you have to do a lot to keep yourself from not being gone. So a lot of crypto people, I don't know if you guys remember, like a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, it'd be crypto millionaires, crypto billionaires, young people that just, blew up just on crypto, right? And next thing you know, they'll be found in their own swimming pool, just face down in their swimming pool. Just random deaths of crypto millionaires. And next thing you know, you're sitting here like, that's kind of weird. Why are all of the crypto millionaires that blew up off of crypto, why are all of them now dead? Because, like I said, if they want to get you, they're going to get you. But the difference between a Charlie Kirk and a crypto millionaire is nobody knows who this crypto millionaire person is or who that crypto millionaire person is. And because nobody knows who that actual person is, they can just get rid of them in their pool and nobody's really going to talk about it. But when they get rid of a Charlie Kirk, or when they try to go after Candace Owens, this person is kind of like a voice of the community. So you either have to be strategic in getting rid of the person, or you try to get rid of the person in front of everybody to threaten the other people who they did not get rid of, if that makes any sense. So with Charlie Kirk, and I'm not going to say this, it's a fact, but it's kind of like understood, they scheduled Charlie Kirk to go speak at Provo, in particular, Provo, Utah, because of one, the laws in that city, and two, that city is a CIA city. Okay. I'm not saying the whole city is CIA, but the young people learn how to become CIA agents in another college that is like 20 miles away from UVU. So there's a UVU, which is University of Utah, and then I think there's a Utah State University. So it's two different colleges, but at Utah State University, if I'm wording that correctly, they actually was teaching young people how to become CIA operatives. So this city in particular is extremely closely knit. I would just come out and say like a cult, but I don't want to offend anybody that lives out there. But to a certain degree, everybody's some kin to everybody. When I say everybody is kin to everybody, every single person in there is somebody's wife's cousin's uncle, nephew, or whatever in that whole city. And the reason why that has a lot to do with Charlie Kirk being gone is that nobody in the city, including the young people that were in the actual crowd, is going to say anything or speak on whatever it is that they seen or they thought they seen. So in other words, if Charlie Kirk, in my opinion, would have never went to Provo, Utah, he would have never gotten unalived. And here's the significance of this having to do with Candace Owens. They wanted Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson to literally see their friend unalived in order for them themselves to be quiet. And you already know, I'm sure y'all seen what she said, but I'm going to play it one more time just in case, because some people didn't see it.
There's another phone call that I had with Andrew Colvett where I was crying on the phone with him. I mean, I am talking maybe 72 hours max after Charlie was killed. And he was also upset on the phone, but he said something and it's hitting differently the more that I think about it. He said, and I quote, "Candace, it was supposed to be you."
So let me go fast forward to the end part.
The idea that we have the national sovereignty may have wanted me and Tucker to watch our friend die. And then that global gang wanted us to know that you will be next if you don't shut up. Like, really, it was supposed to be you.
All right. So I just want to play that real quick because a lot of y'all seen that, but I'm just reminding y'all of how all of this is coming out to be extremely scary. All right. So let me play this next. And everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.
Were killed for knowing too much. Number 1. Gary Webb proved the CIA was...
Let me back it up.
People who were killed for knowing too much. Number 1. Gary Webb proved the CIA was connected to crack cocaine flooding American streets. Major newspapers destroyed his credibility. His career collapsed. In 2004, he was found dead with 2 gunshot wounds to the head. Officials ruled it suicide. Nobody explained how a man shoots himself in the head twice. Number 2. Frank Olson was a CIA scientist who wanted out of MK Ultra. He was secretly dosed with LSD. Days later, he fell from a 13th floor hotel window. Decades later, his family had him exhumed. Doctors found a skull fracture that could not have come from the fall. Someone hit him before he went through that window. Before I say the last one, make sure to hit that follow button to support the channel. Number 3. Michael Hastings destroyed a 4-star general's career with one article. In 2013, he told colleagues he was investigating the CIA. Hours later, his car accelerated at extreme speed into a tree and exploded. Cybersecurity experts stated modern cars could be remotely hacked to accelerate without driver input.
Right.
The investigation closed within days. His notes were never found.
So those are just a couple examples of how if they want you, they can get to you. And in the Charlie Kirk situation, Candace Owens situation, Tucker Carlson situation, in my opinion, just like what they did with Charlie Kirk, they need all of us to be quiet. And if one of us just shows up dead, it's going to be a coincidence. Oh, maybe it was because of this, maybe because of that, maybe because they were drunk, right? They want to show everybody that we did it, not we as in me, but they as in they. They want everybody to know that they did it and there's nothing you can do about it. And we did it publicly and we did it to your face or your neck somewhere around here. So we're going to make it ugly, right? So let's get into what Candace actually said, because this is absolutely crazy. And if you guys watch my last video that I did the other day, when she had a handler and then she got away from her handler. We're going to get into that a little bit. Listen to this.
I do want to get to this report that was published. Now, you may have seen it. It's absolutely bonkers. The same people that brought you Christ is King is anti-Semitic. The NCRI. They do focused reports on, I think, really just me.
So right there, she talks about the NCRI. I talked about the NCRI the other day. So before we get into what Candace is saying, let's get a little bit more understanding of NCRI, and then we'll come back to what Candace said.
Andrew and Johnny working together. We know the only thing Johnny cares about. We can only assume that's the only thing they handled in-house because that's the only news Johnny made was always related to our greatest ally, allegedly, in my opinion. And you've got Charlie Kirk, who goes out there and he campaigns for Donald Trump and he shows up at Donald Trump events and he convinces a whole lot of college kids to go out and vote for Donald Trump. He earns his stripes. He shows his medal. He shows he has some talent. And Johnny's looking at this guy, Charlie, and he says he's got a lot of energy, got a lot of talent. We've got to intervene. We can't risk this guy getting on the wrong side of our only issue we care about.
So this whole thing, hold on, I want to play this other video. It's the same thing. But this whole thing is about how can they change the narrative and paint a narrative that will put us in a position where all of us will be quiet.
The Candace Owens Sean Ryan interview, Candace Owens put up a couple of tweets.
All right, so hold on. I want to go up here. Let's see. All right, right here. So this is information on NCRI right here.
Website, but when you're talking on your taxes, you've got to be honest, or at least you got to give a story they'll buy. NCRI uses its Contextus platform to embed, track, and expose the meaning of language, videos, and images. The meaning of language, videos, and images. The meaning of language, videos, and images used within web communities that increasingly signify hate and encourage violence. In other words, even though what you're saying isn't hateful or violent, they will use a proprietary platform to say that what you are saying signifies hate and encourages violence, even if that's not what you're doing. But they've got a platform that'll say that's what you're doing. That's how you read that first sentence. NCRI exposes cryptic, violent, and genocidal language and symbols within social media communities and tracks the meaning and context of their coded language. Meaning and context is applied to from them. They'll tell you what your own words mean.
They'll tell you what your own words mean, which means this company, NCRI, that Candace spoke about and that I spoke about the other day, is meant to push a particular narrative to make it look like you are I was inciting public or political violence or something, even though you didn't say anything, even though you didn't do anything. So next thing you know, publications all over the country start bashing you, like what's going on with Candace. And next thing you know, they're blaming you if somebody was to pass away. So now that you understand what NCRI is, I'm going to go back to Candace, but I'm going to let Barron speak a little bit more.
As a result, NCRI has emerged as one of the leading authorities in the world on how social media inspired domestic terror operate. In other words, you say something like, Erica Kirk's a liar. They run those words through their platform, and they come out and say, that is cryptic, violent, and genocidal language. You are inspiring domestic terror. And there's nothing you can say about it because they're the world's leading experts, the world's leading authorities. So who are we to argue with them? Don't believe me? They're one of the world's leading authorities. 2 different media publications have contacted people for quotes on this story. The basis of their story is that this company has determined that Candace Owens' appearance on Sean Ryan contained this coded cryptic language that was secretly telling people to go out and commit violent acts. So why are they so interested in this? Well, I found something interesting in doing a little research on NCRI. They've added someone new to their staff here in the recent past. Network Contagion Research Institute appoints Johnny Moore as a senior advisor on Middle East Affairs and associate director. Look at the date line there. May 20, 2026. It's July 5. We're talking 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago. The Network Contagion Research Institute today announced the appointment of Johnny Moore as a senior advisor on Middle East Affairs and associate director, strengthening the Institute's leadership at a time of escalating information warfare, foreign influence operations, and domestic instability. Moore brings a rare combination of operational experience, strategic insight, and global engagement across government civil society, and international networks. His appointment reflects NCRI's continued expansion into national security orient. Okay, well, who is Johnny Moore? We did a whole show on him. I don't want to go through the whole show we did.
All right, listen, it's very important right here.
But we previously talked about a
Johnny
business
Moore.
he had called Kairos, K-A-R-I-O-S. And we talked about someone who helped found Kairos with him. You might recognize this feller. His name is Andrew Colvett. It's a very old picture of Andrew there. Here it is. Vice President of Communications, the Kairos Company. Experienced communications marketing professional dealing with major brands, nonprofits, and high-profile thought leaders, authors, and commentators. Oh, I think I get it now. I think I get it. I think I know where we're going here. When we did our show, Johnny Moore, we showed his bio. During the Obama administration, Reverend Moore visited Capitol Hill to warn about the existential threat that a little-known terrorist group, later known as ISIS, posed to the ancient Christian communities of the Middle East. His advocacy was largely met by indifference and skepticism, but he continued to raise alarm. By the fall of 2014, so 6 months or so later, ISIS had indeed embarked upon a reign of terror across Iraq and Syria, decimating ancient Christian communities. It was then that he traveled to the region himself to meet with regional leaders, including His Majesty King Abdullah of Jordan and various religious and community leaders who had been displaced by ISIS in Jordan and Iraq. That's awfully... Did you have a crystal ball? You know, one of the things Donald Trump told us was Barack Obama founded ISIS. And I believe him. That's back when I could believe what he said.
So what he's essentially saying is ISIS was made up by certain companies like Kairos and NCRI, and a lot of these propaganda machines are meant to cause us to blame what just happened on this group over here versus this group over here. Just like they're trying to blame Charlie Kirk's unaliving on this boy, Tyler Robinson, when this group over here is the people who actually did this. Okay. All right. So now let's get back to Candace and the baiting of Candace.
I say. Anyways, entitled Permission to Kill. Look, kill is in red. Ooh, there's...
So this right here is an example of the propaganda machine that they're trying to issue out to Candace. And part of the propaganda machine is most definitely Andrew Wilson. So they're using propaganda as far as articles. But what is happening on like X right now is this loser Andrew Wilson is harassing Candace, harassing Barron to get Candace out in the open, possibly get Barron out in the open to do a live debate. And then when they get out there, next thing you know, something may happen. And then they're going to turn around and blame it on another Tyler Robinson person or make up some other scenario. But in the background, they're going to be like, shh, I tried to warn y'all. This is another person. You want this to happen to you? Shh. The rest of you, you've been warned twice. Keep playing with us. So they are so egotistical, in my opinion, that they don't want somebody to just run into a tree, like in the video I showed you. They don't want somebody to just randomly not wake up after, going to sleep. They want it to be public because these people are public. Candace Owens, a public-facing person. All right? See, the crypto millionaires or the other people that, call things out, they weren't as public facing as Candace was. All right.
Really just me. Things that I say. Anyways, entitled...
Oh, hold on. Let me back it up.
They do focused reports on NCRI. The NCRI. They do focused reports on, I think, really just me. Things that I say. Anyways, entitled Permission to Kill. Look, kill is in red. Ooh, they're serious, guys. Focus group sat down and said, let's put the word kill in red. And they have, obviously, a target, gunshot, and then a scope looking at someone. And it says how Candace Owens built a digital assassination culture targeting Erica Kirk. So what is the purpose of this? We should talk about that. I got all of these emails. It wasn't just them, but tons of organizations while I was on, tons of media groups were reaching out, asking me to comment on this. I think we had Politico. What do you say about the fact that they researched and saw that it's because of you saying Erica's a psychopath was one of their points, calling Erica a psychopath on Sean Ryan, which literally aired that week, that leads to people wanting to kill Erica Kirk, because that's how she behaves behind the scenes. While she in the front pretends she's a victim, behind the scenes she's quite nasty, actually. That's fact. She's been leading these attacks against me. I'm sure she was on the phone with Johnny Moore, cooking this one up. But the broader point is, what are they doing? Why are they appealing and going into the woodwork and bringing all these people out and attacking me nonstop? It feels like they're losing. Is it possible that to deal with this, they're going to like kill Tyler? Or they're going to like make up some plan and pretend like Erica couldn't deal. She was overwhelmed. And then they're going to go, oh, we're pinning it on Candace. Now we also have the dial back speech laws. Dial back speech laws. Doesn't that seem like they're kind of setting the stage for that?
So right there, dialing back speech laws. Dialing back speech laws. That's one of the goals that they are trying to sell to all of us. Dialing back speech laws literally means shut up. Dialing back speech laws. They're trying to like set up, of course, flock cameras on every street, data centers in every city, in order to be able to put drones in the air everywhere we are. So you walk out the door, there's a drone just out there waiting to make sure you're not going to commit a crime, because the speech laws or freedom of speech is what they're after. And they're trying to set this narrative that Candace, me, whoever else is detrimental to public health because we are inciting violence. So if somebody else that is public facing gets unalived, I hope nobody, period, gets unalived. But if somebody that's public facing gets unalived, the first thing they're going to do is turn around and say, see, we need to dial back the speech laws. That person died because of what that person said or what that person said. But if nobody is saying anything, if nobody is online spewing this hatred, looking for the truth, because that's literally all we're doing, that person or that person wouldn't have died. So this is the reason why we have to dial back the speech laws. No more freedom of speech. And because all these people keep getting killed or unalived, we have to turn around and put up more flock cameras. And on top of that, we're putting, because for your safety, we're doing it for your safety. We're going to put drones in the air. So that means nobody can hurt you, because everywhere you go, you're going to have a drone following you around. Wouldn't you rather have the surveillance of the government to make you feel safe? Well, you got to remember, the government or the CIA or somebody, some entity out there is the ones that is getting rid of the public facing people. So the person manning a drone is the person that is actually, well, I would say the group that is managing the potential drones that they want up in the air, or the data centers or the flock cameras, are possibly connected to the people that got unalived. And this is a classic way of causing a problem and then bringing in the solution. Causing a problem, and then you bring in the solution. And now you're like, oh my God, thank you so much for fixing this problem, without even realizing that they are the ones that caused the problem. And we're going to get into that in a minute. So I just want to play this because I got so much to talk about. Everybody hit the like button and drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at.
All of the usual suspects coming out with something that does not pass the sniff test, because no one deals with more online attacks on a daily basis than me.
Candace, yes.
Tens of millions of dollars is being spent. I am listed, me and Tucker Carlson, in the FARA docs. They're admitting it. They're not hiding it. We have to take down Tucker and Candace Owens, and we're willing to spend the money. Government plot. We can't win this thing. We need to get influencers, independent journalists off of this entirely. We need a big event that allows us to crawl back speech. Think of it like 9/11. 9/11 happens, and then it's like, well, we got to take away your freedom.
Yep. That's it. That's it. And that's specifically what they're trying to do. Drop your sit in the chat. Let me know where you're at. Make sure to like this video and hype this video if you see the hype button. Some of y'all say you don't see the hype button because I think you only get a certain amount of hypes per week or whatever, but hype the video and like the video. All right. So let's go back to this because this is very important. And then we're going to talk about Andrew Wilson.
Look into him. Here's his email. So what does Andrew do? Well, he reaches out. So I reached out to him. I said, hey, I'd love to talk. Maybe we're.
So right here, this is Andrew Kirked and Johnny Moore and how they started working with Charlie Kirk. And the thing that I want you guys to pay attention to in this particular video is how, just like I said, they start a problem and next thing you know, they come over here and give you the solution to the problem that they started. And you don't know that they're the ones that started this problem. So if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't have had this problem. But then in your mind, you're like, since you don't know that part, you're like, wow, if it wasn't for them, I would have still had this problem. So watch this. And this is what the crisis machine actually does. They start a crisis, they start a scandal, and then they come in and act like they're going to help you get rid of it.
Working with you. He basically ghosted for a while.
So listen right here. Andrew Kirked tries to get with Charlie Kirk, but Charlie Kirk ghosts him. But listen to how they actually get Charlie Kirk. How Charlie Kirk actually wakes up and says, oh my God, now I see Andrew Kirked. Now I want to work with Andrew Kirked. They start a scandal in order for Andrew Kirked to come in and infiltrate Turning Point USA. Listen.
So what does Andrew do? Well, he reaches out. So I reached out to him. I said, hey, I'd love to talk. Maybe working with you. He basically ghosted for a while. Okay, well, that really throws a wrench in the plan. You can't take over his organization, direct it to become a pro-Zionist all the time organization if he won't talk to you. We got to have a backup plan here. That's not going to work. Wouldn't you know it? Bad luck befell Charlie. All of a sudden, there was some bad news story where all the media conspired to destroy TPUSA. Wouldn't you know it? Bad luck befell Charlie. All of a sudden, there was some bad news story where all the media conspired to destroy TPUSA.
See, a lot of you don't know that. A lot of you don't know that Candace Owens had a scandal and it almost tore her life apart. And some of y'all don't know that Charlie Kirk had somewhat the same type of scandal that almost tore his life apart. And Andrew Kirked came in and fixed Charlie Kirk's scandal. And I'll talk about what fixed Candace Owens' scandal in a minute. I talked about that the other day. So listen.
And Charlie got really desperate. This whole thing blew up on him. And that's when we finally connected. Wow, what fortune for me, Andrew Kirked and Johnny Moore. That Charlie finally faced something so awful that he couldn't handle it on his own and he had to bring me in. I got to work with him via the agency for about a year. And then he basically said, hey, I like you. I'll hire you. I'll be your first client. Also, I want to start a podcast and I want you to help me do that. This is the context in which Johnny Moore and Andrew Kirked pursue Charlie Kirk. This is the context. All greatest ally all the time. All foreign intervention on behalf of our greatest ally, American foreign intervention. All manipulation, lies, deceit, sob stories, give money to all this, Franklin Graham, give money to me, it's all a lie. All of it's been a lie. The whole last 40 years of your life has been a lie, by the way. I want to be the one to tell you. I hate to be the one to break it to you. It was not innocent. It was a capture mission. They sought out Charlie Kirk and captured him. He had an influential conservative organization that was gaining ground and momentum with young people. It was 2017. Donald Trump had just won. Charlie was getting stronger. He was getting more influential. And here's the key. He had to be controlled or destroyed. He had to be controlled or destroyed. And that's what the scandal with that Crystal girl was about. That's what the racist text messages was about. Andrew Kirked was the lifeline. You want out of this? You got to join the team. Otherwise, we're going to destroy you. We'll make you, Charlie Kirk, the racist guy. Or you can hire me. You can bring me in, smooth it out. Get the media off your back. We'll turn you into an international sensation. Turn you into a rock star. Your call. Nice organization there. Be a shame if something happened to it. This was a capture mission. This was the context. All of this was the context. The meetings with the Egyptian president, the UAE crown prince, the Azerbaijan presidents, the Saudi crown prince, the minister of Sudan, the World Economic Forum delegate to the Middle East, the appointment by Trump as the commissioner to the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom, meeting Netanyahu at Billy Graham's passing, co-founding the Congress of Christian Leaders with Samuel Rodriguez, who exists solely for that same reason, the youngest ever recipient of the Simon Wiesenthal Center's Medal of Valor, the member of the ADL task force and eventual chair, working with Glenn Beck on the Iraq to Slovakia refugee mission, the interview with Greg Laurie about failed states, 1 failed state versus 5 failed states, give money to Franklin Graham. All of this was the context in which Charlie Kirk, which did not have a religious component to his organization, it did not have a religious component. It was an economic liberty organization when Donald Trump got elected. It was an economic liberty organization when Johnny Moore and Andrew Colvett infiltrated it.
So think about that. Turning Point USA, before Andrew Colvett and Johnny Moore came in there, was simply a political machine. That's it. But next thing you know, Charlie Kirk met Erica Kirk. And next thing you know, this whole Bible thumping, like Charlie Kirk started talking about how, you know, this and the that, you know, just start talking about religion and all of his wording and Shabbat Shalom. And the next thing you know, he's a Catholic and he's over in, you know, IHOPia, kissing the wall and all these different things. And he starts to change. And it started with Tyler Boyer, because Tyler Boyer is the beginning. I'm going to do a video about Tyler Boyer in particular, but it starts with Tyler Boyer. And Tyler Boyer brings Erica Kirk. And then Tyler Boyer also, I think, knows Andrew Colvett. So Tyler Boyer doesn't just keep bringing people in. He's just like, bro, I can't tell Charlie that I know you, so you have to get in on your own, because I don't want to look like I'm trying to set Charlie up. So I can't say, hey, get that guy. Hey, get that guy. Hey, get that guy. Because then it's going to look like I'm trying to set him up. So I can't be the one that is, you know, just bringing all these people around, because then I'm going to look like I did all this. All right. So even though I know you, Andrew, I need you to get in here on your own. Find a way to just get in here. And next thing you know, he set up some type of crisis. And all of a sudden, that brings him in the door. So all of this totally changed. This is bad. It's really bad. And they literally infiltrated his company and took it over.
And I will say that they infiltrated it. They infiltrated it and took it over from the inside. And that's the context in which Charlie Kirk sent this text message 2 days before he died. Just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Jewish donors play into all the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied by this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. No, you don't have that choice, bud. You entered the pro-Israel cause as a condition of staying alive. We could have destroyed you back in 2017 when we had you on the ropes with the racist text messages.
Yep. Think about that. Think about that. What's going on, Kimberly? Think about that. We could have got rid of you a long time ago when we had you on the ropes with the racist text messages. It was NCRI that actually changed the context of the text messages to make the text messages racist. And then they spent thousands or maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars to promote this racist text, to make all of the companies, you know, the companies that, you know, like the TMZs of the world, the CNNs of the world, to get them to push a narrative that Charlie Kirk is racist. And all of a sudden, he's like, what do I do? And they come in and say, hey, I'll be your PR agent and fix it all. So now, play a little bit of this. Now let's get into the Andrew Wilson side of this. Everybody hit the like button, drop your sit in the chat. If you have not already, let's get it.
No, we came in. We got the ship righted. We opened TPUSA Faith. We brought in Erica Kirk. We brought in all these people. We brought in Rob McCoy. We brought in the whole pro-Israel band. You don't get to just walk away, pal. That ain't the deal. That's not what we're doing here. You don't get to do that.
All right. So Andrew Wilson. Listen.
Reason is not because I'm not a great orator or I don't make good points or I haven't said things which should be compelling to a person.
And the reason why I'm playing this in particular, because I would like to show you guys just how much of a loser Andrew Wilson is. And the reason why this is important is because we as a community have to ignore this loser because he's on X and he has a lot of followers on X. And we need to collectively ignore this loser. He is a loser. And the reason why he's a loser and the reason why he got a certain amount of notoriety is the same way the little weirdo Myron from Fresh and Fit got his notoriety. This dude is just like a 60-year-old version of Myron. So this man, just like the little Myron cornball, they sit around arguing with 18-year-old girls all damn day on these little stupid ass podcasts for incels. Okay. So he's like a little 60-year-old version of Myron Gaines, and he's on the white side of the podcast arguing with little white girls. And of course, Fresh and Fit, they're on the black side and they're arguing with little black girls. But they just look bunch of 18-year-old girls. You're not ready for marriage. You're not good enough. You're stupid. You're dumb. Just these stupid idiots, right? So this is how this weirdo gained his notoriety. And now that he has notoriety, the idiots at Turning Point USA, because they are total idiots, even though this loser literally called Erica Kirk herself a moron, and he said she is incompetent, which she is. So I'm not saying he's wrong. I think she's an incompetent moron also. But this man literally said that Erica Kirk is an incompetent moron, and the incompetent moron, who is Erica Kirk, ignores all that and turns around and hires this loser to go against the people on our side that is literally looking for truth. So now he's running around harassing everybody, but mainly Candace Owens and Barron. And it's all over X. So if you see him on X, do not engage with him. Do not comment. Do not get mad. His job is to start a clusterfuck in order to get Candace to respond. Barron is not responding to this loser, but Candace, she has tweeted back to this loser a couple times. So that's the reason why I'm doing this show, because it's very important that Candace Owens does not fall for the bait. That's the reason why I'm doing this show. That's the title of this show. Is Andrew COVID baiting Candace Owens to get her outside somewhere, out at some event somewhere, to possibly get unalived like Charlie Kirk. So we have to wrap Candace Owens with our hearts, with our love, and to make sure she is safe. So this loser, in my opinion, is baiting her to get out, because I'm not going to say this loser is actually going to do something to her. No, he's trying to bait her to come out of her basement, come out of her house, come out of her city, and show up on here. And next thing you know, something happens to her publicly, and they're like, got her. And we can't let that happen. All right. So listen to what this loser says.
But the reason is not because I'm not a great orator or I don't make good points or I haven't said things which.
Wait. Lee says she can afford security. She ain't dumb. Did Charlie Kirk have security? Just a thought. Lee, thank you for your comment, but did Charlie Kirk have security? Yes. And what happened when Charlie Kirk had security? They still got him. They still got him. So the thing about it is, security can be bought by you, and security can be bought by the other side, because security are not millionaires. Anybody that is security they, I'm not going to say they make minimum wage. I'm not going to say that, but I don't think they make a lot of money. So if somebody outbids you, say I pay security $200 an hour, right? Now you walk around, be my security. And somebody finds out that this person or this group of people that I'm paying $200 an hour each. So they come in and say, hey, I'll pay you $2,000 an hour to turn a blind eye to what is about to happen when y'all go to the mall. So one, let me know what y'all about to do, where y'all about to go. And next thing you know, boom, boom, boom. And you just turn a blind eye. How you think they got Biggie? Biggie has security. Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G. Biggie has security. What they did with Biggie in particular, because, I covered the Diddy case. Biggie was in one of 4 SUVs. And what they did was they marked the tire with some chalk of the SUV Biggie was in. So when the wheel is spinning, when you're driving, the tire looks white. So from a distance, you'll see 4 SUVs. You'll know exactly which SUV Biggie is in and which side of the SUV he's in. So say he sits on the left side in the back seat, they put chalk on the left side back tire. He was on the right side back seat. They put whichever seat he sat in, they put chalk on that tire. So when a car is riding down the street at night, they were easily able to see which SUV he was in and which side of the SUV he was in. The same thing happened to Tupac. Well, Tupac didn't have security, but the point is, having security cannot save your life in every situation. So yes, she can have security. So I'm just saying that because that's very important for me to share with you guys. You can have security and they still can get you because security only makes a certain amount of money. There's no millionaire security guards. Well, probably, for the president or something, but not for me and you.
Should be compelling to a person.
All right. So back up. Sorry. So I got interrupted because that was a pretty good comment. So I appreciate that. So sorry.
But the reason is not because I'm not a great orator or I don't make good points or I haven't said things which should be compelling to a person. But Charlie, I just think honestly, you're too fucking stupid to understand them.
So Andrew, can I sell you on my worldview?
Yes.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
And has been married twice before.
And you you lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz.
What?
Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your stupid bitch mouth.
So that's Andrew Wilson. He's a loser. He's an idiot. He's supposed to be this big time debater, but the second somebody catches you in a lie or says anything that you don't like, you're going to start saying stupid shit.
Baby daddies.
Because he married a chick with 8 baby daddies.
Sell you on my worldview?
Yes.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
And has been married twice before.
And you
you
lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz.
So I want you to think about this. Do you actually want this type of person debating Candace Owens? Whether she wins or whether she doesn't, that's not the point. You do not give parasites your attention. That man is literally a parasite, and he works for Turning Point USA now. So the last thing anybody needs to do, that's on our side, shout out to everybody on my side, is to give this parasitic loser any attention. And some of y'all may say, "Ooh, I would love to see Candace Owens wipe the floor with him, or Barron would just wipe the floor." Nope. You ignore this person. All right. You give this person your ass to kiss. That is it. You don't turn around and give little weasels like this your attention. They are losers.
What?
Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your stupid bitch mouth.
Do the men that you try to...
Do the women that you try
show
to...
your hatred against...
Do the women that you try to...
That you can receive those.
So shout out to Jack Costello. I like his content. Sadly, he took debate and sat down with this loser, this cigarette smoking loser. And I want to share with you how he debated with Zach Costello. And another example why we need to ignore this loser. I don't know why the hell Zach actually decided to debate with this man. See, the thing about it is, and this is what I said to somebody just in a group chat. I told the person, because they wanted to do a debate with another person that I think is a loser. And I told them, you in particular are not necessarily very known in this space yet, right? It was a person that everybody doesn't know yet, right? Everybody knows the Barons and the Candaces, right? Everybody doesn't know me yet in this space, right? I'm actually new to this space. I come from the relationship space. So a lot of people don't know me either, all right? I'm not one of the big dogs in this particular political space or parapolitical space because I'm new to it. So if people don't recognize the person sitting next to an Andrew Wilson or sitting next to a Gary Melton, what his name is, from a distance with the volume off, because a lot of people see something and they don't even have the volume on because they're out somewhere, they're just going to see your face. And when you see Zach's face next to this loser, you can turn around and think Zach Costello is also a loser. He's not. I think he's a good guy, but debating with a loser from a distance without knowing context would think this is not a debate, because a lot of people, to be honest with you, the people who debate with each other are usually friends. So I'll say it again. People who usually do debates together, they're usually friends. So when you turn around and do a debate with a person from the public eye, they're going to think y'all are friends. Which means if they think Andrew is a loser, they're going to think you are a loser. If people think Gary is a loser, they're going to think you are a loser if you're on screen debating Gary. You do not debate with these damn people because they are losers. You ever heard of what is the saying? Never argue with a fool, because from a distance, you can't distinguish which person isn't the fool. You never argue with a fool because from a distance, you can't tell which person is or isn't the fool, which means by default, both of you are fools. Both of you are losers from a distance. So shout out to Zach, but I don't like what he did. But, you know, who am I? Who am I? You know, I can't tell nobody what to do. But my point is, we got to ignore these losers and let them just disappear, because the more attention you give to the losers, the more they're going to be a succubus to all of your energy. So let's see what happens with Zach.
Or those status flights, I guess you can say. And the status of that flight has been confirmed. You can go and look and confirm the status of the flights to see.
See, the thing about it is, I'm not just going to sit here and explain myself to some bum. I'm not doing that.
What designation they are. That one Rodney Square has an FBI field office who are responsible for receiving those dignitaries and those.
Are we ever going to get to how this ties into the Kirk assassination?
The how this ties into the Kirk assassination.
Oh, whoa. I'm sorry to keep. Can y'all please hit the like button? Somebody said the likes are low. Thank you so much, whoever said that. Can y'all please take a second to hit the like button? Wait. When I seen the number of likes that somebody just said, wait. Can y'all please hit the like button? See, when I don't say hit the like button, nobody hits the like button.
Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.
Please, everybody take a second to hit the thumbs up button. Take a second to hit the hype button. Thank you in advance.
Is that okay? Take the plane back to Provo, Utah. The plane arrives in Provo, Utah. You then have, I believe, 2 Egyptian planes, or I believe 1 American military intelligence plane. I need to get clear. I think there were 2 Egyptian planes and then 1 other additional American surveillance military plane.
And thank you to the people who did hit the like button. So thank you. I don't want to be kind of like browbeating people and you're like, I hit the like button already, bro. Like just chill. So thank you. I want to say thank you.
That were in Provo, Utah prior to the Kirk assassination. One of them left military contractors there, did not leave with them. They left them in Provo,
How
Utah.
does this tie into the Kirk assassination?
Y'all see that, right? Do y'all see that? And this is the reason why you don't give these bums attention. Does he sound respectable? Does he sound respectful? Doesn't he sound like the same as this?
Bitch mouth.
Do the men that you try to
The same thing.
your religion?
You lick sniz.
What?
Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your stupid bitch mouth.
It's the same thing. He sits around and disrespects the person instead of debating with the person. That's why you don't debate with losers. Come on, Zach.
In Utah, the week prior to Charlie being assassinated, an eyewitness at UVU, this was reported to Candace Owens, said that they saw an individual dressed in black on the Los building roof where the shot allegedly came from. We're looking at obviously the event, but that comes from an eyewitness at UVU and
an anonymous source.
An anonymous source.
Yeah. So the correspondence from an anonymous source to Candace Owens is linking together that an Egyptian plane dropped off assassins who then went and killed Charlie Kirk. Do you have any evidence whatsoever that links anything that had to do with this plane or these assassins to the assassination of Charlie Kirk? Any. I mean, any.
I just explained to you the irregularities of the Egyptian.
That's not evidence of anything.
Military contractors.
That doesn't.
What it serves is an alternative. It's an alternative theory and scenario that if the 30-06 did not leave an exit wound, and that the gun, in fact, that was used was not in fact used, and Tyler Robinson did not take the shot, then it would be this would be an alternative scenario that may or may not have taken place. I mean,
I see.
That's ultimately.
Can we agree that you have no evidence for that, though?
If there was a military operation,
yeah, but can we agree that you have no evidence?
Irregularities that have been found.
Can you agree with me that you have no evidence for that?
Well,
let me stop right there. As you can see, he's dog walking Zach Costello. Let me explain why he's dog walking Zach Costello. Because none of us have evidence. We're on YouTube. We're not police officers. We're not CIA agents. And we're not assassins. So because of that, we don't have any evidence. And because we don't have any evidence, there's a good possibility that if we debate somebody, they're going to dog walk us also. Because the first thing they're going to say is, do you have any evidence? And I am not a police officer. I am not a lawyer. Maybe Barron would have some type of evidence or understand things a little bit better because he's a lawyer. He's a trial lawyer. But the rest of us are just people on YouTube. I come from the relationship space. A lot of this stuff I'm still learning. So I would get dog walked by this loser also. But it wouldn't be because he's more intellectual. It's simply because I have no evidence. And why in the hell would I have evidence? Everything that we have spoke upon, even with Candace, these are theories. These are assumptions. We don't damn know. We don't know who killed unalived Charlie Kirk. We don't. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and he was saying, so are you trying to say that Lance Twiggs unalived Charlie Kirk? I said no. He said, well, who unalived Charlie Kirk? See, if Lance Twiggs unalived Charlie Kirk, that would mean it was a bullet that unalived Charlie Kirk. If you follow me, you know I don't think Charlie Kirk was unalived by a bullet because his shirt puffed up right here, and then the back of his shirt puffed up right here. That ain't no damn bullet. So since I don't know what actually happened, because you see all this shit here and, right when he got hit, I don't know what killed him. That's why I'm here trying to figure out what. And so the last thing I need to be doing is having a factual debate with no evidence. So this is why I'm looking at Zach like, bro, what are you doing? You're guaranteed to lose this because all he has to say is, where's your evidence? But guess what? He doesn't have any evidence either. But because he is on the receiving end of the information, because the person that is after the truth, the person that has been breaking down this stuff for the last, I would say, 10 months, you start to think you got the evidence. You start to think, oh, I can beat you in a debate without even thinking that this is an investigation. It is not debate worthy. Imagine a detective debating with somebody. He's a detective. He got to go back to work. That man ain't got time to be doing no damn debate. And even a detective, an actual detective, probably doesn't have enough information to win a debate because everything is theoretical. You're looking at evidence that may not be evidence. Blood splatter, like as an example. It is not a fact that this person died this way because the blood splattered this way. No, that's theoretical. And you use that theory and you match this with that, and then you turn around and then you start gaining evidence. But we aren't detectives. So yeah, I don't know. I just feel bad for Zach because I don't know what he was thinking by doing this, because the loser is easily gonna wipe the floor with him, because all he has to do is keep saying, well, do you have any evidence? No, I don't have any evidence. So what are we talking about then? Exactly. Why are we here? There's no reason to be here because I don't have any evidence. You don't have any evidence. Nobody has evidence. Candace Owens doesn't have evidence.
Then it would be this would be an alternative scenario that may or may not have taken place. I mean, I see. Ultimately, that's all.
Can we agree that you have no evidence for that, though?
If there was a military operation,
yeah, but can we agree that you have no evidence?
Irregularities that have been found.
Can you agree with me that you have no evidence for that?
Well, I just explained to you what do you mean?
I understand that's an alternative. I understand you haven't.
See, if you cannot answer that one question, do you have evidence? You lost. Somebody says, Mr. Lego, respectfully, sir, you would have done a better job at debating this loser fool, but you would. I'm not saying, because I didn't watch the whole debate. I just seen this and I was just like, come on, bro. So I would never debate this loser about anything because I don't care. But like, remember, there's no point of debating. I'm not here to be right. I am here to learn. I'm hearing this and I'm hearing that. I'm like, oh shit, more information. So I'm writing down information. I'm gathering information. I'm an information gatherer. I'm searching for the truth. I'm seeking the truth, which means I don't have the truth yet. So if I don't have the truth because I'm seeking it, why in the hell am I going to go debate somebody knowing the first thing they're going to say is, do you have the truth? No. Then they're going to go crazy on me. And that's literally what's happening. We're truth seekers, not truth havers. Not yet. Because I don't know how, literally, I still don't know how Charlie Kirk died after 10 months. I actually, let me see. Do I have the video? Let me see. I think I got the video. Here it is right here. This was a thought, and I'll go back to the
Janice, you guys find any ejected rounds from police weapons?
So this was a thought right here.
Today, I found at least 5. It also...
Shout out to Trigger Smart. Shout out to Valhalla. Shout out to Jesse on Fire.
Now, because their initial excuse, remember the investigator said, "Oh, it was a police's rifle round." Yeah. We just eject the rounds and pick them up later. Not out of AR-15 style platforms. They do not do that. If this was some bolt action sniper rifle, maybe he ejected it on the top of a white roof. And it's an unspent round, right? Yeah, real round. No police officer would ever do that.
Saw that I missed to let go. Thank you, Aaron. I'm not sure what specifically, but we appreciate you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I think it's relevant no matter what, because that means there was someone with an AR-15 style platform.
So look at this. This is a theory. This is not fact. This is not evidence. This is theory. They found an AR style rifle bullet, a 223 bullet, on the top of the science building. So then I started theorizing myself. So listen to this.
On a roof in the area at a school. Now this is very, very interesting because this building is where we assume the potential shot may have been coming from ahead of time because 139 yards is so close. This would be about 300 yards, which you can 100% make that 300 yards as a.
So right here, if you look at the top of the screen, top left, that's where Charlie Kirk was. And the top of this building right here is the science building. And that's where they found the bullet at. So what Valhalla is saying that there may be, not is, but there may be. See, theory. There may be a line of sight from the top of this building that is more elevated than the Losi building. And the person, because they found a bullet up there, may have got a shot off from here, which is 300 yards instead of 100 yards. And because, or maybe if, just as a theory, you see I keep saying theory. If somebody was to shoot a 223 from 300 yards away, guess what? By the time the bullet hit Charlie's neck, the momentum would have died and it would have stayed in his neck instead of going through his neck, and it would have been found in his body. And since the science building is higher than the Losi Center and Charlie Kirk is here, that elevated shot this way versus this way would have actually caused the bullet to go down instead of that way, which would prove why the bullet, if there was a bullet, was still lodged in his body. One, the momentum would have slowed down, died off, 300 yards versus 100 yards. And two, the elevation would have made it where the bullet was going this way instead of this way. And it would have kind of like went this way instead of this way. But that in particular, guess what? Is a theory. And I don't believe my own theory because I think it was something that exploded, something that in his chest. You got to be careful what you say. So, the actual microphone may have, went like that. So I don't believe my own theory of somebody being on the top of the science building 300 yards away. So why in the world would I sit here and try to debate somebody where I don't even believe my own theory? I'm having conflicted theories. You think I'm going to sit down and argue with somebody about some shit that I don't even damn know? I'm conflicted within myself on how this happened, and you're gonna sit down and debate with somebody? It makes no sense. So let me finish playing this.
Normal shot for a good shooter, but is there line of sight? Oh no, it looks to me like there's potential line of sight. Now we know there was someone up on the roof of that building with a rifle, and that building is connected to the Losi Center. You can walk straight across. See that? Yep. So why was somebody up on that building with a rifle? That's pretty close to the building that supposedly Tyler. It's the next building over, right? It's not like this building is somewhere else on campus. Yeah, this is where Tyler was right here. That's you just walk straight across. You walk straight across that building to that building. Somebody was on that building with a rifle, an AR-15 style rifle.
Yeah, you can walk over to the other building. Maybe somebody started off over there. That's to get everything ready, and then they walked over and got ready here.
And this is where he jumped off, supposedly, over here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm just showing you that I would lose a debate literally because I don't know. And guess what? It is okay to not know. Hence, there's no reason to debate somebody, no matter who they are.
Alternative theory.
Planes operating this way.
What's the evidence? What's the evidence
at certain times?
What's the evidence that this plane, that any of these contractors who were dropped off went and killed Kirk? What is it?
Right.
What's your best piece of correlating evidence? What's your best piece of evidence for this? What is it?
You want me to basically provide you with the video proof that these contractors got off?
Any proof?
And walked
any proof?
And were there and involved?
Any proof? Any? Any? Do you have any?
There isn't any proof. This is what I'm saying, man. Like, I don't know why Zach did this. Shout out to Zach Costello, though, and make sure to subscribe to his channel. Subscribe to Baron's channel, subscribe to Candace's channel, and subscribe to Zach Costello's channel.
Me to basically provide you with the video proof that these contractors got off.
If you don't have that type of proof, there's no reason for you to be debating this dude, bro.
Proof
and walk
any proof
and were there and involved.
Any proof? Any? Any? Do you have any?
Andrew, I just
any proof? Do you have any proof?
I just explained to you.
If you are, I am not even mad at the loser right here. He's just doing his job. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with me. I'm not mad at the loser. He's just doing his job. His job is to make you look stupid. His job is to win the debate. And it's an easy way of winning the debate by just saying, do you have any proof? Do you have any proof? I'm not even mad at him for doing that. I'm mad at Zach for putting himself in that position because the loser is right. There is no proof. So why are we doing this?
Any? Do you have any?
Andrew, I just
any proof? Do you have any proof?
I just explained to you the argument.
Damn. So I got away from the actual original conversation of Candace, but what I wanted to share is we all as a collective, as a community, when we see this bum on X challenging Candace, you may feel convicted or promoted to emotionally get charged and get in his comments. But the more comments you give him, the more views his tweet is going to do. And if his tweet gets millions of views, it's going to be more difficult for Candace to ignore it. Because one of the reasons why she ended up having the little Nick Fuentes dude on her show is because X promoted his tweets towards Candace. So it is kind of like understood that if you want Candace's attention, you get on X and have a whole lot of people upvote your tweet. And next thing you know, it gets to 1 million or 2 million views. Candace is going to respond and at some point may even invite you on her podcast. So the more tweets, the more attention he gets, the more there's a possibility that this man may actually get this woman out in the open. Because we all have egos, right? Her ego takes over and she has her little security, just like Charlie Kirk had his little security. And next thing you know, she's out in the open. She's out at the podcast. She's out at some type of event trying to debate this loser. And she's sitting here with her microphone, and then something happens to her. No, because like I said earlier, she said it herself. She had the paperwork. She had the verified proof that an organization, a foreign organization, had a hit out on Candace Owens. This was a year, 6 months ago, 6 months ago. And we can't just ignore that and think everything went away. Because if an organization wants to get rid of you, they're not just going to give up. They're going to come back 6 months later and try again. But this time, they might be in the form of an Andrew Wilson that would challenge you to a debate to get you in a position for them to get rid of you. All right. So I want to play something else that's very important also, because Candace talked about banks, right? So I'm going to play a little bit more of Candace, and then we're going to get into this conversation about the banks.
I do want to get to this report that was published. Now, you may have seen it. It's absolutely bonkers. The same people that brought you Christ is King is anti-Semitic. The NCRI. They do focused reports on, I think, really just me, things that I say. Anyways, entitled Permission to Kill. Look, kill is in red. Ooh, they're serious, guys. Focus group sat down and said, let's put the word kill in red. And they have, obviously, a target, gunshot, and then a scope looking at someone. And it says how Candace Owens built a digital assassination culture targeting Erica Kirk. So what is the purpose of this? We should talk about that. I got all of these emails. It wasn't just them, but tons of organizations while I was on, tons of media groups were reaching out, asking me to comment on this. I think we had Politico. What do you say about the fact that they researched and saw that it's because of you saying Erica's a psychopath was one of their points, calling Erica a psychopath on Sean Ryan, which literally aired that week, that leads to people wanting to kill Erica Kirk, because that's how she behaves behind the scenes. While she in the front pretends she's a victim, behind the scenes she's quite nasty, actually. That's fact. She's been leading these attacks against me. I'm sure she was on the phone with Johnny Moore, cooking this one up. But the broader point is, what are they doing? Why are they appealing?
What if I told you that the music industry...
Hold on. I didn't mean to do that.
And bring all these people out and attacking me nonstop. It feels like they're losing. Is it possible that to deal with this, they're going to kill Tyler? Or they're going to make up some plan and pretend like Erica couldn't deal. She was overwhelmed. And then they're going to go, oh, we're pinning it on Candace. Now we also have the dial back speech laws. Doesn't that seem like they're kind of setting the stage for that? All of the usual suspects coming out with something that does not pass the sniff test, because no one deals with more online attacks on a daily basis than me. Tens of millions of dollars is being spent. I am listed, me and Tucker Carlson, in the FARA docs. They're admitting it. They're not hiding it. We have to take down Tucker and Candace Owens, and we're willing to spend the money. A government plot. We can't win this thing. We need to get influencers, independent journalists off of this entirely. We need a big event that allows us to crawl back speech. Think of it like 9/11. 9/11.
See right there. We need a big event. Y'all heard that, right? We need a big event. What is that big event? Possibly a debate between Candace Owens and the little loser dude, Wilson, the little Wilson dude. That may be what they are trying to do.
We can't win this thing. We need to get influencers, independent journalists off of this entirely. We need a big event that allows us to crawl back speech. Think of it like 9/11. 9/11 happens, and then it's like, well, we got to take away your freedom.
So speaking of that, let's get into this that I talked about this involving the Diddy case, but Candace Owens talked about this also. So let's get into it. This is about the bank's Merrill Lynch.
Really dark side. But see, you probably know that already. But how deep does a rabbit hole really go?
So this is about Diddy and Taylor Swift. But if you remember what Candace talked about on her show today, focus on the banks and not about Diddy and all the other stuff.
In this video, we'll be diving deep into the rabbit hole of the music industry. Now, it's interesting with all the documents.
And it's not just the music industry. And just for the record, the reason why I'm on this Charlie Kirk case is because I was going down the rabbit hole with Diddy, and the Diddy situation, the music industry situation, had a lot to do with traffic lights, just like Erica Kirk and all these people did. So I'm here to advocate for all these tadpoles that are going missing. All right. And it brought me over here to the Charlie Kirk case. So for anybody who ever wondered, why is Mr. Let Go into this, even though he speaks on relationship stuff, I am here to advocate for young people. And too many women and young people are going missing every month, and nobody knows why. And I've been tracking how, and at first it was Diddy, and I started looking into this, and I was like, this is way higher than Diddy. It's Epstein. It's this person. And then it may have something to do with the banks also. So listen to this.
That have been coming out about Diddy, right? Because there is no longer any mention of any minors in those documents, right? But there's also no mention of an individual named Lucian Grange. But we'll get to Lucian here in a second. And as you can see in the indictment, prosecutors allege that since 2008, supposedly, that Combs has been part of a criminal organization that engaged or attempted to engage in sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, obstruction of justice, and other offenses.
Just like Turning Point USA. Put a 1 in the chat if everything that he just says matches everything that we see with Turning Point USA. Put a 1 in the chat if you see everything that he just said with Turning Point USA also, with the Romanian angel stuff, with the Tyler Robinson cover up. Isn't it the same thing? It's the same shit. It's the same thing, y'all.
But it's really interesting over the years who Diddy himself decided to associate himself with, which just so happens to ironically be a lot of people that just so happen to be on the Epstein list. But I'm sure that's no surprise to anybody. But what is really interesting is the fact that Diddy earlier this year just so happened to allegedly hire Bobby Sternheim to replace New York City Attorney Jonathan Davis to represent him in court, which previously made headlines for defending Ghislaine Maxwell in her sex trafficking.
Y'all see? Do y'all see this? It's all the same people. The Diddy stuff was connected to Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. That's why I'm over here. It's all tied together. That brought me over here. I was focusing on the Diddy case. Diddy went to prison, so I was done with Diddy. Next thing you know, Charlie Kirk died, and I started hearing about Romanian angels and orphans and orphanages and all this other shit. And I was like, trafficking. And I started snooping around over here. So listen again, y'all. It's the same shit.
No surprise to anybody. But what is really interesting is the fact that Diddy earlier this year just so happened to allegedly hire Bobby Sternheim to replace New York City Attorney Jonathan Davis to represent him in court, which previously made headlines for defending Ghislaine Maxwell in her sex trafficking case. And allegedly, according to some other reports, Sternheim also previously represented Osama bin Laden's henchman, Khalid al-Fawaz, in his 2015 trial over the 1998 U.S. embassy bombings in Africa that killed more than 200 people. So very interesting person for Diddy to reach out to, right? But it's also interesting because Epstein in himself was renowned to be doing those activities of his own during the 2008 time period. And right in the midst of a lot of this being put out into the public, the 2008 financial collapse just so coincidentally happened. And I'm sure something like that, especially with how big it was, would take.
Excuse me. I don't think you guys remember or not, but Candace Owens was talking about the 2008 financial collapse today.
Take a lot of attention off of something like that. But hey, who am I to tell you the obvious, right? But how deep does the rabbit hole with the music industry really go, one might ask? Well, to discover that, we'd have to start looking at somebody like Lucian Grange. And like I mentioned, Lucian Grange and himself just so happened to coincidentally take himself out of the court case with Diddy from the allegations that were placed against him, as Lucian himself had allegations against him for financing those Diddy parties, saying that basically it's bullshit. But is it? Because if you look into a lot of history with Diddy and Lucian Grange, there's a lot of it. And just like Taylor and P. Diddy back in 2009, Lucian Grange and P. Diddy himself were pretty close in 2009. So how do you not know that one of your top performing artists under your label aren't performing these acts? I'm sure it's something that's just really easy to miss, right? But you know what's interesting, because Taylor Swift and herself was renowned to be at a lot of these parties. And God, when you just so happen to look into who Taylor Swift's father is, it all starts to make a lot of sense.
Listen.
See, I've done a video on Scott Kingsley Swift, right? And he's a very interesting individual.
Listen.
Especially considering the fact that he just so happened to be a financial advisor for Merrill Lynch. And Scott Swift and himself was renowned to be pretty good friends with somebody named John Thane. And see, Mr. John Alexander Thane was an American financial executive and investment banker. And he was president and co-COO of Goldman Sachs, but also the CEO of the New York Stock Exchange. And Thane then became the last chairman and CEO of Merrill Lynch & Co. before its merger with Bank of America. The history of Bank of America is...
Now, if you don't know, Bank of America was recently sued for working alongside of, guess who? Jeffrey EpiPen. Bank of America was sued and they paid. So it wasn't a lawsuit. They actually paid the lawsuit out. They paid, like 20, 50, 60 million dollars in a lawsuit. So Merrill Lynch, along with some of these other banks, Bank of America in particular, was working in cahoots. And I'm not going to say anybody hid any money. I want to get sued, but they were in cahoots in some type of way with Jeffrey EpiPen. And that's the reason why I'm over with the Charlie Kirk case, because it's the same shit. And Candace Owens spoke on this just a little bit today, but I'm going to bring it home.
And he was president and co-COO of Goldman Sachs, but also the CEO of the New York Stock Exchange. And Thane then became the last chairman and CEO of Merrill.
And that's John Thane. We're talking about John Alexander Thane.
Lynch & Co. before its merger with Bank of America. The history of Bank of America is really interesting, by the way. But that's something we'll touch upon in another video. Now, it's interesting because John Thane was the CEO of the New York Stock Exchange during the 2008 financial collapse. But see, Goldman Sachs was criticized for allegedly misleading its investors and profiting from the collapse of the mortgage market during the 2007 and 2008 financial crisis. This led to investigations from the United States Congress and the United States Department of Justice and a lawsuit from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, which definitely don't just so happen to have a lot of members that just so happen to be on the Epstein list as well. Yeah, definitely not. You definitely can't find anything on that. But you know what's interesting about Taylor Swift and the reasons why I'm talking about Goldman Sachs and Merrill Lynch? Because right when Taylor Swift's career took off, just like in 2006, BlackRock acquired Merrill Lynch's investment managers division, merging the two companies and expanding BlackRock's international and retail presence. But see, Merrill Lynch received a 49.5% stake in the company, while PNC's ownership was halved. 49.5% of BlackRock, but yet none of Merrill Lynch's associates are on BlackRock's board of directors. And now Taylor Swift's father just so happens to be involved heavily in the music industry as well. And do you know how much money that people like her father made during the 2008 financial crisis? Let's just say that multimillionaires became billionaires within just a couple of years. So I'm sure it was a lot easier to hide what was going on behind closed doors. But Taylor Swift and herself is a whole nother rabbit hole that we're not going to dive into right now. But I just want you to know that there's a lot of people in the music industry that definitely know about what was going on. You feel me? And with Taylor Swift, well, let's just say a plant can easily be watered. If you know, you know. And when it comes to money, anybody can be consumed by the industry. And it's funny because people like P. Diddy were those exact individuals. What, you think P. Diddy made all of his money from music? And if you don't think by now that Diddy was the Epstein of the music industry, then you're truly choosing to be delusional.
And who is the EpiPen of the evangelical industry? See, you have the EpiPen of the music industry. Then you have the EpiPen of the evangelical industry. And then you have the EpiPen of the education industry. See, they spread like locusts. They spread like diseases. Charlie Kirk was a political company, but when they got with Erica Kirk, it turned into an evangelical company. So I'm not going to say Erica Kirk is the EpiPen of the evangelical world, but I would say that Erica Kirk, in my opinion, is like, you might as well say she's Jeffrey EpiPen's niece, in my opinion. I think she's Jeffrey EpiPen's niece, probably by association, not by blood.
But see, just like Epstein, there's always figures of higher authority. There's always going to be the puppets that are truly pulling the strings, right? And I'm not going to confirm whether or not Lucian is one of those individuals, but I'm pretty sure it's obvious to figure out for yourself.
So Lucian Grange, music industry, Erica Kirk, evangelical industry.
Now see, Lucian himself, right? He grew up in a what family in North London? And I'm sure that's to no surprise.
You see that, right? You see the type of family? You see it? He grew up in a what family in North London?
And see, in 2008 as well, ironically, Grange received the Music Industry Trust Award, which recognizes the world's most successful music executives. And he was also knighted in the 2016 birthday honors for services to British business and inward investment. And in 2016 as well, he was inaugurated to appointment to the Order of the British Empire and Knight Bachelor. So of course, knighted by the Queen. I'm sure that's no surprise. If you don't know of the controversial history of the Queen of England herself, then you really need to get in touch with reality. Because that in itself is a very deep rabbit hole to dive into. And if anybody would like me to do that in the future, I gladly will. But see, Lucian in himself is also just taking a step up that ladder. And once you continue to go up that ladder, there's no coming back down. Especially not when you just so happen to get to individuals like Leor Cohen. Gotta love that hand sign right there, right? See, this Leor Cohen right here, which just so happens to be ironically standing right next to Diddy. Now see, Leor Cohen and Lucian Grange in real life are pretty damn good friends.
Seen this video of Erica Kirk?
Hold on. I'm going back to that, but I just needed to remind you of who Erica Kirk sees herself as. You know how Erica Kirk presents herself like she's this victim, this angelic victim? This is who she really is. And I'm going to go back to the video in a second. I just want to play this.
It's a good one.
Answer my question.
No.
We
would die.
Now listen to what Erica Kirk says about herself.
Charlie has the patience of Job, and I'm like sitting there like, if you move one step closer to my husband, he is so calm, cool, and collected, and I'm the pit bull. So like the Lebanese Italian side of me is like.
The Lebanese Italian side of me is like what, Erica?
I know a guy.
I know a guy. The Lebanese Italian side of me says, I know a guy. Oh, so you know a guy. The Lebanese Italian side of me. You hear that, right? That is who Erica Kirk actually is. She said it herself. She is the pit bull. She is not the widow. She is not the victim. This is who Erica actually is.
Lebanese Italian side of me is like, I know a guy. I know a guy.
Hey, Erica, why were you just appointed to the Air Force Academy Board?
So I just want y'all to see that, because Erica in no kind of way can lie to me. I know who this damn woman is. So when I call her an idiot, y'all look at me like, oh my God, she's a woman and she's a widow. No, she's not. This woman is a gangster. She is a whole gangster. All right. And I'm not even going to go down a rabbit hole. I might do that another day, but she's lightly attached to the Jewish mafia also, but that's another day. But I just wanted to show y'all. Now we're going to go back to the original video.
UMG, aka Universal Music, which Lucian Grange just so happens to be the CEO of, is a big partner of YouTube and YouTube Music. And Leora Cohen is obviously the global head of music at Google and YouTube. So do know it's eventually all connected, okay? But see, Cohen joined Google at the end of 2016, right? And he previously acted as CEO of 300 Entertainment, which he co-founded. Which definitely, wink wink, isn't directly connected to the Queen or anything. We'll do another video on that eventually. But as of right now, I want to primarily talk about Leora Cohen, okay? See, Cohen worked on the label side of the music industry, like it says here, at companies including Warner Music, we'll get to them here in a second, Def Jam, Island Def Jam, and of course 300 Entertainment, like I mentioned. And see, during that time, right, Def Jam was under Polygram and Universal. During Cohen's time at Def Jam, right, he worked with a brand new roster of successful rappers like Redman, Method Man, Jay-Z, we'll get to that eventually in another video, DMX, Ja Rule, and Ludacris himself. Cohen also oversaw custom label deals with Rockefeller Records, Murder Inc., Disturbing the Peace, and others. But in 1998, when he just so happened to leave Def Jam, right, Polygram was purchased by Seagram and merged into Universal. And see, during that time, a special little somebody had a pretty good relationship. But see, Leora Cohen himself during his time in the music industry was the victim of a lot of allegations as well, including a couple from John Homston, a retired CIA agent, which a couple of years ago admitted on national Russian television, allegedly saying that the CIA was supposedly behind the creation of the 1980s hip-hop scene and financed major hip-hop acts, including NWA and other acts as well.
Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.
Stating that allegedly the government at the time spent big money, serious money on this covert operation destined to further division and corrupt the American youth to nihilist anti-establishment and anti-American ideologies. Also saying that allegedly famous hip-hop songs of the legendary hip-hop outfit NWA were even scripted by a team of psychologists and war propagandists of the CIA.
I don't know if y'all heard that. And back it up. Now I'll just read it right here. Because this has a lot to do with the school system and the churches. So this right here is speaking on hip hop, but I'm just letting y'all know that the entire psyop is all interconnected. The famous hip hop songs of legendary hip hop outfit NWA were even scripted by a team of psychologists and war propagandists of the CIA. So the same way the CIA is mixed in with this Erica Kirk evangelical orphan, every last one of these damn preachers and evangelists, they have all this stench on them with tadpoles and all this other stuff in Romania. They always go to Romania, and next thing you know, they get kicked out of Romania. It's all intertwined. So I'll say it again. The famous hip hop songs of the legendary hip hop outfit NWA were even scripted by a team of psychologists and war propagandists of the CIA, just like the CIA is connected to Turning Point USA. It's all the same shit. It's all the same shit. So it's just like different departments, the evangelical department, the school system, which Turning Point USA is steady trying to go into, which is disgusting, hip hop and black people. And then you have Margaret Sanger with what is that? Planned Parenthood. Put a 1 in the chat if you're familiar with Margaret Sanger. All of these things are psychological warfare. It's all the same shit. Fort Huachuca teaches all these people how to commit psychological warfare. So Candace right now is afraid, and we have to be there for her.
It seems like they're kind of setting the stage for that. All of the usual suspects coming out with something that does not pass the sniff test because no one deals with more online attacks on a daily basis than me. Tens of millions of dollars is being spent. I am listed, me and Tucker Carlson, in the FARA docs. They're admitting it. They're not hiding it. We have to take down Tucker and Candace Owens, and we're willing to spend the money. a government plot. We can't win this thing. We need to get influencers, independent journalists off of this entirely. We need a big event that allows us to crawl back speech. Think of it like 9/11. 9/11 happens, and then it's like, well, we got to take away your freedom.
Yep. So this is a psychological war. And the reason why Jesse on Fire, the reason why Baron, the reason why Candace, the reason why Coach Colin, the reason why Danks, the reason why Bays, the reason why Trigger Smart, the reason why all of us are banding together and working together is because we can't do this shit alone. Candace is over here with us. We can't do this shit alone. This shit isn't about clout no more. This isn't about, I want to get some followers. No. This is literally about saving our children from what they're going to grow up to deal with. So this is no longer about who's watching who, how many followers, the super chats. This is so much bigger than that now. We appreciate y'all. But we are literally banding together, working together, sharing notes in order to protect each other, in order to protect ourselves, in order to protect our families, and in order to protect you and your children from what they're trying to do. Turning Point USA has turned into a school indoctrination company, or a school indoctrination machine. And they have to silence Candace. They have to silence Baron. But if Baron gets silenced, Valhalla is going to blow up. Well, not blow up. It's going to take his place. I will take his. So at the end of the day, no matter what they do, it's so many of us, they can't get rid of all of us. See, the thing about it is, if it was one person, they could just silence that person. They could just take their YouTube channel down. They can sue them. And of course, you already know, Candace Owens has been getting sued left and right. So they're trying to sue her into oblivion. But the more we support her, the more we hold her up, she'll be able to afford all those lawsuits. But if for whatever reason, at some point, she's just like, this is too much, I'm bowing out. I want to take care of my family. She's pregnant. I'm going to take care of my 5 kids and then just sit down for a while. Well, guess what? You got so many more of us that are going to come in, because it takes all of us to be able to do this, not just one person. See, in a Black community in particular, we always believed in that one person that's going to save everybody. But guess what? We learned a quick lesson, because the second Martin Luther King died, we were lost, because it wasn't a group of Martin Luther Kings. It was just one person, and they get rid of that one person. Now we don't know what the hell to do. We looking dumb. So I'm learning from our mistakes as Black people by sitting here trying to prop up one person. No, it's at least 30 of us. At least. Respectfully, I think it's about 30 of us. And we're all, to a certain degree, working together, and they can't get rid of all of us. They can't get rid of all our YouTube channels. They can't kill all of us. They can't shoot all of us. They can't sue all of us. So we are at y'all's necks. Well, at their necks. And we are going to win this battle. And shout out to Mermaid Dreams. Thank you so much. It's already starting. The UK has passed a law banning anyone under 16 from using the internet. It's going to come here. We have to fight. Well, it ain't coming here, because we're not going to let it come here. We are the voters. We are the people. We are the narrative pushers. That's why they get mad at us so much, because they want to control the narrative. Let me show you something if I can find it. An example of how they're controlling the narrative. Let's see. Check this out. This is how they
Listen to the media repeat basically the same line over, all on different stations.
All right, so check this out. This is how they control the narrative. Watch this.
Listen to the media repeat basically the same line over and over and over, all on different stations.
While looking for health information in the Twitterverse. Be extra cautious while looking for health information in the Twitterverse.
Be extra cautious while looking for health information in the Twitterverse.
Be extra cautious while looking for health information in the Twitterverse.
Be extra cautious while looking for health information on the Twitterverse.
Be extra cautious while looking for health information on the Twitterverse.
Be extra cautious while looking for health information in the Twitterverse.
Be extra cautious while looking for health information on Twitter.
Be extra cautious while looking at health information on Twitter.
Be extra cautious while looking for health information on Twitter. Be extra cautious while looking for health information on Twitter.
Be extra cautious while you're looking for health information on Twitter.
It's all a psyop, y'all. It's all a psyop.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 I go on and on and on. There's another video of newscasters saying the same exact thing. And I'm just here to show you that that shit ain't flying no more. They can't just turn around and psyop us to death, script us to death, lie us to death, because we're not going to put up with this shit. I think there's one more I want to show you guys before we go. Maybe it was this only one. Okay, maybe it's that only one. I got to find the other one. But this is what we have to deal with. This is what we all are up against. So I just love the fact that we all are working together, and we're not going to allow these people to do this shit to us. And if anybody is interested in the Diddy stuff that I was doing, I want to share. I want to share the link to check out my Diddy playlist, because somebody wanted information on my Diddy playlist. So I'm going to drop the link right here, and everybody go click the link that I just dropped in the chat. Is the Diddy playlist, and go check that playlist out, and you'll get a little bit more of understanding of why I'm here with this Charlie Kirk case and how I broke down the Diddy case. So click the link that is in the chat. That's it. I think it says Diddy documentary. It just says playlist. So click the playlist, and I will see y'all probably tomorrow. So I'm going to play the hit the like button song and a commercial, and we'll be out of here. But click the link that is in the chat that says playlist. Click the playlist link in the chat.
This just in, a new way of healing is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other.
These are some good questions. Do you think I'm a people pleaser? If so, where did I get this trait from?
This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband.
If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.
Like mother, like daughter, we are the same. You'll see when we play this game.
Everybody hit the like button. 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 in the comments. Don't be acting afraid. What? Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. If you got something to say, drop it in the comments. Don't be acting afraid. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city. What? Drop your city in the chat. What? Drop your city. What? Drop your city in the chat. Drop your city in the chat.
Make sure to hype the video, and I will talk to y'all later.